What if I told you that 90% of your mobility problems could be solved with a framework so simple, you'll be shocked no one taught it to you before? I've spent 15 years of working with everyone from elite athletes to desk workers, and I've discovered something that the fitness industry doesn't want you to know. Most mobility programs have you working backwards. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on the mobility hierarchy, the exact system I've used to help thousands transform their movement patterns when nothing else worked. You might be thinking, another mobility video? I've tried everything. Trust me, I get it. I've been there too. But stick with me for the next 6 minutes, and I guarantee you'll see movement in a completely different way. Here's the truth. Your body is an interconnected system, and trying to fix mobility issues without addressing the foundations is like building a house starting with the roof. The mobility hierarchy changes everything because it works from the ground up, literally. Let me break this down for you. The hierarchy has 5 levels, and each one builds upon the last. Skip a level, and the entire structure becomes unstable. This is why so many mobility programs fail. They're targeting level 4 when your body is struggling at level 1. Level 1 is joint integrity. Before you worry about flexibility or strength, you need to ensure your joints can move through their intended range of motion without compensation. I'll never forget working with Michael, a marathon runner who couldn't understand why his hip mobility exercises weren't working. When we assessed his hip joint, we discovered his femoral head wasn't tracking properly in the socket. No amount of stretching would fix that structural issue. Now I know what you're thinking. How do I know if I have joint integrity issues? Don't worry, later in this video, I'll share 3 simple tests you can do at home to check each major joint. These tests have been eye-opening for thousands of my clients. Level 2 of our hierarchy is basic tissue quality. Your muscles, fascia, and connective tissues need to have appropriate tension and elasticity. Think of it like this. Even with perfect joint integrity, if your tissues are like old, dried-out rubber bands, they won't stretch or contract effectively. One of the biggest myths in mobility work is that you just need to stretch more. But here's something most trainers won't tell you. Excessive stretching of already unstable joints can make your problems worse. At level 2, we're not just mindlessly stretching, we're strategically addressing tissue quality based on what your unique body needs. By now, you might be wondering if you've been approaching mobility all wrong. Many of you have, and it's not your fault. The fitness industry has conditioned us to think about mobility in isolation, not as part of an integrated system. Level 3 is motor control, your nervous system's ability to coordinate movement patterns. This is where most traditional mobility programs completely miss the mark. You can have perfect joint integrity and tissue quality, but if your brain can't properly recruit and coordinate your muscles, you'll still struggle with movement. Let me share something shocking. In my clinic, I've seen people instantly gain 30 degrees of hip flexion range just by correcting their motor control patterns. No stretching required. Your nervous system has incredible power over your mobility, but most programs completely ignore this critical component. I can see some of you getting excited about this approach, while others might be skeptical. That's perfectly normal. What matters is that you're still with me, because what comes next could be the missing piece in your mobility puzzle. Level 4 is strength through range. Once you have the foundation of joint integrity, tissue quality, and motor control, you need to build strength throughout your newly available ranges of motion. Without this step, your body won't trust the new movement patterns, and you'll revert to your old, limited ranges. Sarah, a yoga instructor I worked with, could get into deep positions during practice, but couldn't maintain stability in everyday movements. Her mobility wasn't the issue. She lacked strength in those extended ranges. Within 3 weeks of targeted strength work, her movement quality transformed. The 5th and final level of the hierarchy is skill application. This is where you integrate your improved mobility into sports-specific or life-specific movements. Many people make huge gains in their mobility work, but struggle to apply those improvements to their golf swing, squat technique, or simply picking up their grandchildren. At this level, we're rewiring movement patterns that you've had for years or even decades. It requires patience and consistency, but the results are worth it. I've seen clients add 50 yards to their golf drive or finally perform their first pain-free squat after following this systematic approach. Now, I promised you practical takeaways. So here are 3 things you can do immediately after this video to start addressing your mobility hierarchy. First, perform the joint integrity self-assessment I mentioned earlier. Pay special attention to your ankles, hips, and thoracic spine, the 3 areas where most people have hidden limitations. Second, identify where you fall on the hierarchy for different movement patterns. You might be at level 4 for squatting, but only level 2 for overhead reaching. This precision allows you to target your specific limitations. Third, start with the lowest level that needs work. It's tempting to jump ahead, but remember, this is a hierarchy for a reason. Trust the process. If you found value in this approach, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. I release new framework videos every Wednesday that break down complex movement concepts into simple, actionable strategies. And if you want to dive deeper into the mobility hierarchy, check out my comprehensive guide linked in the description below. This isn't just another mobility system. It's a complete paradigm shift in how we understand human movement. Start at the foundation, work your way up, and watch as movements that once seemed impossible become effortless. Your body is capable of extraordinary things when you give it the right framework. Let's unlock that potential together.